Chelsea, my bestie. All right, so we're gonna do something a little different today. Normally, I'll ask the kids to participate in this skit, but because today is Kids Day and this message is for them, I'm going to ask the adults, the parents, to come and help me do the skit. So I need, oh yes, they need Michael, yeah. I'm gonna need about, let's say, 5 volunteers. If you don't volunteer, I will pick you guys out of the adults. 5. Thank you, First Lady. Yes, we got first volunteer. Yay, thank you. It could be male, female, anybody. Thank you, my aunt. Thank you for stepping up. Yeah, two gentlemen, 2. Uncle, please step forward. One more. Pastor, oh, I didn't even see him back there. Pastor, please make your way. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna set the scene for you guys. So right now we're at, let's say, game night, family game night. And I'm a captain. Pastor here is a captain as well. And we're gonna pick people that we want on our team, okay? So I'm gonna go off and pick First Lady on my side.
On my side.
And then I'm gonna pick Auntie on my side.
Me. No, me.
Mm-hmm. So now our teams have been picked. I'm happy with my team. Are you happy with your team?
Yeah.
Do you want her on your team? No. Okay. Also me, I'm okay. I'm okay with my team. I'm sorry, I don't want you on my team. Yeah.
We okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
I choose you.
Who? Me?
Yes, I choose you.
Why did you say that you chose me? I've never been chosen for anything in my life.
I am God, and I choose you.
I don't have any gifts. I'm not even coordinated to be chosen for that.
Well, let me tell you the reason why I am God. The time that the kid fell off the stage during a school play, which was you. There was a time where you got lost at the amusement park. That was you. The time you ate 10 candy bars at once and got sick. That was you. Is that right?
Maybe.
Are you sure it wasn't you?
It was me.
It was you. Now, I've chosen you because look at all the gifts and talents that I have given you. Why would I do that if I hadn't chosen you?
But I don't have any gifts, I promise. I don't have anything.
You have the gift of my creation given for you. The birds, the sky, the warmth of the sun. You have your own personal gifts given for you. I have given you the ability to listen to others, to fix things, and to see through problems clearly. I have given you talents in music and a love from animals. You have many other special gifts, but I haven't even told you about your best gift of all.
What is that, God?
You have the gift of my son, Jesus Christ, given for you. I loved you so much, I gave my only son to die for you, that you might have life. Believe me, you have been chosen.
What about the others? Are they chosen too, even though they didn't choose me?
Yes, I have chosen them too, but they have not heard or they have not answered.
Well, what have you chosen for me?
I have chosen you to be my friend. Live your life for me and go tell others that I love them too. Are you willing to do that?
I think so, sure. I'll give it a try.
Don't worry, I'm always with you.
Okay, thanks, God. Let's go.
Okay, guys, please give a round of applause for all my volunteers. They did a wonderful job. All right. So from this play, can anybody share a time where they felt they were left out? Anybody have an experience where they were maybe in a group or they're at the house and their friends maybe decide to go somewhere and they weren't included? Anybody have an experience like that? Nobody's been ever felt left out? Oh, back there? Yeah? Okay. Anybody else ever felt left out? You? Anybody want to share a time when that happened and what was the scenario? You want to share a time? What was the time? Well, how did you feel left out? You felt bad when you were left out? Yeah, it's not a good feeling, right? Anybody want to share their story of what happened? Okay, well, let me tell you my story. It's not a big deal to some, maybe big deal to some people, but let me tell you what happened. So you know how we are all Seventh-day Adventists, right? And on Sabbath starts when? Friday, right? Friday night. But not everybody who's your friend is a Seventh-day Adventist, right? And most of the time, when do movie nights happen or go out to have fun, bowling? When does it happen? Friday nights, right? And guess who can't go? Exactly. So there was a time where my friends wanted to go out, like I was in high school and they were all going to bowling. And they all made these plans and stuff, and guess who couldn't go? Me. So I was home while I'm just seeing the group chat, just having fun. They're meeting here and there, and I just felt home. I was just sad. I was just like, wow, like I can't go do anything with my friends, right? That's not a good feeling to have, is it? Right? Anybody have a similar experience? Right? Yeah, it's not good, right? So in this story, in this scenario that we just did, the kid was, in the park playing. Well, I guess this is movie night, right? They're playing and they want to be a part of the team, and they're not picked, right? And now when you're not picked, there's something in your head that starts running like, why am I not good enough? Like no one wants me, and that's who's talking in your head. Who's talking in your head? Huh? Right. It's putting all those negative thoughts in your head, right? We can see here, who spoke up when she was feeling bad? Who spoke up and told her that she is chosen? Who? God, right? So in any aspect in our lives, God always speaks up and tells us that we are chosen and we are good enough, and He is there for us, right? Let's look a little bit into the Bible. Who in the Bible can you guys name that was left out, that we can say that felt left out? Joseph, that's good, right? Joseph, he was a favorite. That dad always gave him all the good things, but his brothers never wanted to play with them. No one never wanted to be around. They will see him and they'll walk around the opposite direction, right? So how could they feel when your own siblings don't want to be next to you? Not good, right? Who else? David, right? That's a good story, right? He was the little kid who wants to help, and nobody is listening to him until he got the courage enough to like, you know what? No, I'm going to put in the armor and I'm going to go out there. And guess what? He defeated who? Exactly. Who else? Who else in the Bible felt left out? Have you ever thought about the brothers? Joseph's brothers? Don't you guys feel like they felt left out? But we never talk about that, right? And imagine being in a household where your parent has a favorite. And you're seeing the favorite get everything they want. And you just come and you're like, nope, not for you. Not you, Megan. Not you. So how would that make you feel? It make you feel bad, right? Yeah. So I want to also talk about being inclusive. I know being left out is always not good, yes. But how can we individuals not find ourselves in a situation where we're not including other people, right? So what are some examples that we can think of that can be more inclusive, including other people in our lives? How can we make people feel more comfortable? Talk to them, yeah. So you can see like somebody new and you just approach them and talk to them. Do you know how far that goes? That, you know, when somebody new comes to the church and they're sitting there and they're quiet, and then you just go up to them and say, hey, what is your name? You know, they could have been going through a lot before they came to church, but you came and just said, hey, you know, and you made them feel welcome. Another way that we can be more welcoming is how? I need you guys to talk to me. How? Huh? Right. If one of your friends is not feeling well, you go visit them and say, hey, what's going on? I didn't see you at church today. Like, can I come see you? You know, you don't know what anybody's going through in their household. Being a good friend matters. In fact, at the end of the skit, what did God tell the girl? What did he say? Did anyone remember what they said? It said, go live your life for me, right? And go tell others. That can mean in so many different ways, right? That can mean, it doesn't mean to be all grand and go save the world and come with the technology to whatnot. It just means somebody next to you saying hi, how are you doing at school, right? Maybe they don't have any friends and you happen to be the only friend. Now you're inviting them to church. Hey, I go to church on Saturday. You want to come with me? And you're like, okay, sure. Now they had no friend, they had no plans. You gave them a friend and you gave them plans. And that's one way you can also bring them to church, which is what we're supposed to be doing as Christians as well, right? Right. What's another way that we can be more inclusive? Could it be maybe accepting others' differences? Be more inclusive, right? Not everybody is the same as you, right? We're all Seventh-day Adventists, but not everybody's a Seventh-day Adventist. Do we need to make anybody feel bad about that? No, right? So some people might be Muslim. Do you make them feel bad about it? No. So accepting people who they are. Like, for example, for me, when I came to Kenya, from Kenya to here, I was bald, right? You see this hair I had here? I had no hair at all. And I had not even a single friend, and I didn't know how to speak English. So now imagine how life was that for me. Just take somebody, I'm in a corner, I don't have friends, I don't know how to speak English, and somebody coming to me and saying, hey, Maureen, how you doing? Or like, hey, what's your name? You know, it made me feel good when somebody came and just said hi to me. Because guess what? You can feel so lonely, and in that time, you can be more susceptible to bad influences, right? And somebody like you who knows what the right things is, who have grown in the church, can go be a good influence to somebody else, right? Yeah. So I want to turn a little bit into the Bible, Ephesians 2:8-9, and it says, God has chosen us and blessed us out of pure grace and love, not because of anything we have done. We are called by God to reach out to others in this same way, right? So God has chosen us to reach out to others. We are basically his disciples in this earth. No matter how little you are, you can make a big difference, right? David was a kid when he defeated Goliath. Joseph was how old was David? So I don't know how old it was, but I know he wasn't an adult yet when he was sold into slavery, right? So things can happen to you at a very young age that can inspire even the adults to look up to you and say, you know what, if that kid is doing it, I could do it too, right? So we have to, and everything that we do, and I know that school's starting up, and everything that we do and how we live our lives, we have to please God. To the point where somebody can see you walking down the hallway at school, and like, wow, she walks a little different. Let me go see why she walks a little different. And then you go, well, yeah, I walk a little different because I'm a Seventh-day Adventist and I believe this and this and that. Does that make sense? Yeah. Does anybody have any questions or input or anything they want to talk about on this particular subject? Anybody want to give any input? Any questions about being chosen, about what that means? Anybody not have a clear understanding? No? Okay. So we're going to move forward into the second part of my topic, which is peer pressure, which is something that we are all I've gone through, right? We've all felt peer pressure in so many forms. It can be even in your own family. Your own sisters and brothers can peer pressure you into something really bad or something really good, right? Does anybody have any know what peer pressure means? Let's start with that. Does anybody know what peer pressure means? What? When you're under the influence of something, okay? What's another definition? Yes? Being pressured to do something by people around you to do something, right? Yes, that is correct. Anybody have an example of being pressured into do something they don't want to do? I know the parents are around here, but you won't get in trouble, I promise. Anybody have an example? I see you, Michael. Anybody have an example of being pressured into something you don't want to do? And how that turned out for you? No? Nobody has no one here has ever been peer pressured. Nobody. Huh? What? Yeah. Maybe you guys are scared or you guys are really good kids. If you're a good kid, round of applause. Good example, right? Well, okay.
There was a time.
Can you stand up?
Sorry.
Okay. And here.
Hello. Are y'all doing good today? Are you sure? You are very quiet today. I saw y'all talking earlier when nobody was here. Okay. Anyway, so when I was in high school, I came to America during high school, like freshman year, and like she was saying, everything is new, everything is different. Now you find yourself in a place where you don't really know how to relate to your friends, right? You don't know how to associate yourself with them. They're talking a certain way. I can't talk like that, you know? So you want to be a part of what they're doing. Does that make sense? So I remember in high school, it's actually very crazy because you would think that wouldn't happen, but a lot of my friends were smoking. Do you guys have friends that smoke? Who smoke? Probably, no? Okay, that's good. That's really good. In high school, I had that issue, that was going on, right? And it starts in middle school, actually, based on what my friends were saying. That was happening a lot. Believe it or not, some were drinking. All these are really bad habits that you should have no business with as a high schooler, right? But this was going on. So imagine for somebody who wants to be a part of these people, who wants to feel like they're one of these people, right? How would you feel if you want to be a part of these people, but what you see them doing is a bad thing? Are you guys following? Okay, so for me, that was kind of something that was really bad that I could have been pressured into doing. Does that make sense? I could have gotten myself involved in those things, but again, you have to always remember where you're from, who you believe in, right? And then you have to advise yourself, even if you have nobody to advise you, even if you're scared to go tell mom and dad that, hey, this is what's going on, you have to always remember where you're from. And if you were to be caught with these people doing this particular thing, would it be acceptable? Right? Are we following? Okay, so that was.
Before she goes and talks, I'm gonna say something that he just talked about smoking, right? Not even just smoking, you know, doing little things in there, skipping school, not going to class. Those are all things that at some point you might come across them, right? And I know I can remember a particular story that he was talking about smoking. I had a few friends who smoked. This was in middle school. Yes, middle school. And it was an afternoon program. We finished school, now we're waiting. I was in wrestling, so I finished wrestling and they happened to be there when I finished wrestling. And they were like, hey, Maureen, we're gonna go to the rail tracks and smoke. Do you smoke? I said, no, I don't smoke. It's like, okay, you don't smoke, but you wanna come and try it? I was like, no, I don't wanna come and try it. Okay, well, you don't wanna try it, just come and be around us. Like, you don't have to do anything, just come. I said no. Do you know why I said no? Just being around, do you know why? See, you're smart. That's smart. I wasn't even thinking like that back then. But the reason why I did not want to be as close to them, because that's temptation, right? Just because you're not doing something and you're around it doesn't mean that you're not. When they all get caught, you're not gonna be like, I wasn't doing it. I was just standing around. What do you mean you were standing around? No one is going to believe that you were just standing around, right? And for one, you being so close to it, you might not be doing it, can also tempt you to want to do it at some point. Not the first time, not the second time, maybe a third time. You might be like, you know what? They seem to be fine. They're doing it, and they're going to school, and they're doing well. I can try it, right? And that's how people get into really bad habits, right? So we got to be careful not to fall into that temptation of even your friends doing it.
Maureen and Clement have done so well, so I really don't have anything to say. I would say that the biggest thing that God gives us is the power of choice. And with your choices, that can make you or break you. And especially y'all being at a young age, one of the most valuable things that y'all have is your health, your name, and your education. So you never want to put yourself in a situation where those are contradicted. And I know, especially with the age that y'all are, there's things like peer pressure of smoking, drinking, drugs, things of that nature, but there's also the peer pressure of, I have to look a certain way, I have to talk a certain way, I have to have these things that other people may have. But one thing that I want y'all to know is that though you get peer pressure, though you may make mistakes, you are always loved, and never forget that. And then also the number thing is to remember is the resources you have during this peer pressure time, especially at the age that you're at. Yes, the first person you go to is who? God. You get on your knees. Second people is your parents. I know how embarrassing they can be, talk too much. I know, trust me, I understand. But when I tell you your parents are there for you, they're there for you through thick and thin, no matter what peer pressure you're going to enable. And also, as we're here today, we're also a resource. I always tell people that if you ever need us individually, you give our phone number, we are always more than welcome to help y'all. But just remember, the most important thing is you have your name, your health, and your wealth. Never put yourself in a situation that's gonna contradict these things to make you be peer pressured and fall apart, okay?
All right, so can anybody tell me some stories in the Bible where some characters were peer pressured into doing something? Your parents are watching, so you guys don't know any stories in the Bible? You guys don't read your Bibles? Huh? Nobody has a story in the Bible that someone was peer pressured into doing something? What was it? Say.
When Moses was peer pressured into hitting the rock.
Exactly, right? So that particular story, yes, he was angered, and from that anger he was pressured into hitting the rock, right? So, and then what happened? He was God punished him, right? And he told him, because you hit it, you can enter the new. Exactly. So another story, you guys may not even think it's about peer pressure, but it is. In truth, is the what's the story? The lost kid, I forgot the name. The prodigal son. Yeah, the prodigal son. The prodigal son. How did you guys think he was peer pressured? How does peer pressure come into his story? Say louder.
He had a lot of money from his father's inheritance, so he went with his friends to a different part of town and ate expensive food, had expensive parties, and then he lost all his money because he
Right.
spent the
Okay, let's go for the first part before we even get to getting the money. Where did you think he even got the idea of, I want all my inheritance at his young age? Where do you think he got the idea from? Right. He probably saw his friends, living the life from what money they were having, and they were telling him, "Come, let's go have fun. Go. Does your dad have a lot of money? Go ask for all your money." And then he was like, "Maybe I can go ask for all my money." And then he went. And remember what his dad told him? He asked him, "Are you sure this is what you want?" And what did he say? So what makes you think that he was sure that he knew what he was saying, what he was asking for? Do you think he had a life experience that told him, "Oh, I know what I'm doing"? No, right? It was who was in his ear telling him? His friends, right? So he went and got all his money. Now he thinks, "I'm ready for the world." He goes in the world and he does what? What did he say? He went and spent all his money, right? When he had all the money, who was next to him? His friends. And then what happened? Exactly. He lost all of his money to the point where he started what? Eating pig's food. But guess who was nowhere to be seen? No friends, right? And now he thinks, you know what? I know I've done bad. I didn't listen to my parents, and I'm sure God was talking to him. He knew who God was. He didn't listen to God. He goes and thinks about it. I'm eating pig's food. There's just no way my parents will turn me away. Let me just go back to where I started. So what did he do? He went back home. And what did his dad do? When he saw him from a whole distance, what did his dad do? And what did he do? What did the dad do? Threw him a party. Did the dad mention anything about what he had done and all the money he spent and all the nonsense he was doing in the world? Did dad even bring it up at all? No, he threw him a big party and said, "My son is home," right? So that's a prime example of sometimes we, as young as we are, as young as I was, I believed that I knew what was best for me. Because guess what? I'm seeing what other people, and I'm comparing my life to other people. And I'm like, "Dad, you don't know what I went through. You grew up in the 1980s, right? The things you went through and what I'm going through is not the same, right?" So I know what I'm talking about. We've all gone through that stage where in your head, you might not say it, and you think that you know what's best for you, right? The same way the prodigal son knew what was best for him, and then he found out the very hard way that he really didn't know what the world was in store for him. So a lot of times our parents might tell us something. We might not understand in that moment. We might not like it, but there's a reason why they're telling you, because they're way older. And they've gone through certain situations where they know if you go on the same exact path, you're going to end up where? Right back where you started, right? And not that they're not going to receive you back. Do you think your parents will ever throw you out? Do you think your parents will ever say you can't come back here ever again? No. So the reason why they're protecting you is not because they're scared that you're going to come back and knock on the door. It's because they don't want you to go through the whole cycle of finding you back here again, right? No matter what you do, always remember, your parents always want the best for you. Everything they tell you, it's okay to be like, "Mom, I don't really understand why you're telling me this. Can you explain that for me So when you leave a conversation, you feel like, okay, I see where dad's coming from. I might not understand where mom is coming from, but you know what? I trust her. She has the best interest in my heart. Because not a lot of your friends who are telling you out there, you can do this, you can do that, have the best interest for you. Because when you're in trouble, are you in trouble together? No. Are they gonna be like, I'm gonna take it up for Megan. I'm gonna, you know what, Megan, get me in trouble. They're not gonna do that, are they? No, you're gonna be in trouble by yourself. You're gonna be, and any repercussions you go through, you're gonna be doing it yourself. I always say when you make your bed, you lay in it, right? No one's gonna lay in it for you, right? You know what that means? Okay. So just remember that. I want you guys to always remember your parents are all there for you. Not just your parents. Like Jealousy said, us. Here, me, I'm always here for you guys as well. If you guys want to talk about something that you don't want your parents maybe to know, or you're not comfortable with them knowing and you just need advice, we're here for you. This is where I'm older. I've gone through certain things that you guys may be going through. And I might also have gone through, and I can advise you guys better, right? Don't turn to people who are the same age as you, who are telling you to do something. They haven't gone through it. They don't know what's behind the door, right? Another person who's also there for you at all times is who? God. And there's a reason why I keep going back to the Bible and giving you examples from the Bible. The Bible, even though it's a very, very old book, it has examples of things that we go through even today. We all go through betrayal. Jesus was betrayed, right? We all go through jealousy, right? Wasn't Joseph's brothers jealous of him, and because of that, they ruined his life, right? But God, what did God do? He turned it around for him, right? We all go through a lot of scenarios. We all are either grow up in a very poor house or in a rich house, or we all compare our lives. We all see that so-and-so has a nice car, that so-and-so has a new shoes. I want the same thing. Is comparing good? What does it end up leading to? Jealousy. And jealousy is what? A sin, right? So we have to be careful, and also always read your Bible. Turn to God. You don't have to read your Bible every single day. You don't have to be a good Christian. You don't have to, hold it. I'm walking with my Bible every day. I'm a good Christian, That is not what a good Christian is. A good Christian means what you read and you live it, right? You pray. If you're in the corner and you're feeling bad and you don't know what to do, pray. There's so many times where I prayed and not like I'm on my knees and I'm just praying. I just sit in my bed and I say, God, I don't know what's going on. I'm feeling lost and I need help, right? Or I'll do something bad. I'm like, God, I did something bad and I don't know how to go about this. God is my Father. God is my friend. God is who you need him to be. You don't have to close your eyes. You can just talk to him. Have a conversation. Tell him your secrets. God is not going to tell anybody your secret the same way a friend can tell somebody your secret, right? So you can open up to him and tell him everything that you need, and he'll guide you at all times. All right? Okay. Anybody want to input anything I just said? Anybody have any questions about that? Nope? Okay. So now we've learned about peer pressure and having bad influence in your life. Can you guys give me some examples of bad influences? Bad friends? Do we know what that is? Like, do you know what a bad friend is? What is a bad friend? Since you nodded, what is a bad friend?
Like someone who's like fake, like turns on you, like whenever they hear something else.
Anybody have an example of a bad friend? Oh.
A bad friend is like someone like that, like is not like a real friend. Like if something happens, like let's say you're like rich and like if all of your money like runs out, then they'll like turn their back on you and stuff and like be rude to you. A bad friend is like somebody like you can't, like somebody who like goes down on you, like you tell them like not to tell somebody like a secret you told them, but then to just go down on you and just tell everybody.
Right? And they want to embarrass you, right? Okay. Go on, next to you.
Somebody who doesn't root for your success.
Somebody who doesn't root for your success. Oh, okay. So she had the same thing as well. Anybody else have any examples?
When someone turns their back on you when you need help the most.
Exactly. So when somebody turns your back on you.
A bad friend is someone who makes your life decline and not incline.
Okay. When somebody in your life makes your life decline and not incline, right? So we know, clearly we know what a bad friend is. You know what the hardest part is though? Recognizing it when you have a bad friend. Because they don't always start off as bad friends. They always start off as somebody's fun, they're talking to you, you're talking to them, they're sharing all these nice things and they wanna go hang out and they like all these things. And then something happens. Right now you love them, they're your best friend. That this is my friend, I wanna do all this with them. And then just one little thing happens, right? And they wanna, for example, skip school. Or you're shopping with them, and I know a lot of you guys go shopping, right, with your parents, and you maybe might have friends with them, and they want to, like, maybe take a bracelet from the store, like shoplift, right? They want like, no one's gonna notice it, take the tag off and put it in their pocket. And then you see them doing it. And they're like, it's not that big of a deal. It's fine. It is what it is. You should do it with me next time. Huh? This is your best friend. You've been best friends together for like, what, 5 years now? 10 years? You grew up together? You've talked to them and they don't want to change. They don't see anything they're doing wrong. In fact, it's getting worse. Now they went from bracelets, now they're going to shirts. Maybe they're going to shoes. Huh? What's next? A car? At what point do you move on? At what point do you say, you know what? You might be my longest friend, but you're not good for me anymore. At what point do you say that? Does anybody know at what point you say that? At what point do you let go? What did you say?
When it's too late.
When it's too late. Most of the time we let go when it's too late, and that is very true because guess what? We have this thing in our heart. We're like, I can change them. I can tell them not to do that anymore, and they won't do it. And sometimes you wouldn't even recognize it's too late because most of the time you switch and be just like them. You end up doing what they're doing. Instead of them influencing you, they've influenced you to do what they're doing. Right? And as Christians, are we supposed to be like that? Are we supposed to be easily influenced? Are we supposed to be are we not supposed to be the ones to influence them? Right? So there's times where even though, yes, we're the ones supposed to be influencing them, there's times where you have to protect yourself too. You have to say, you know what, I've tried my best talking to them. I've even gone to my parents and they're not changing. It's time for me to walk away, right? Because I can see myself slipping away from what my Christianity and what my parents have taught me, what I know what is to be good, right? These are the kind of people that you have to say, I don't want this path for me. I don't want my life to decline, right? I want my life to. Exactly. So now that we know that, can we talk about what are good friends? Give me some examples of good friends.
A good friend is someone that's always there for you no matter what happens.
Exactly. I see you back there. I'm coming.
They protect you.
Protect you. Anybody have examples of a good friend? What characteristics of a good friend?
Someone who loves you and forgives you.
Somebody who loves you and forgives you. That it? Oh, one more.
A friend you can trust with your secrets and stuff.
Okay, anybody else have anything? Oh, okay.
One who is ready to correct you when you're wrong.
Anybody else have anything that they want to share before I talk?
A friend you can call any time of the day or night and they will be there for you.
Yep. Anybody else? I think we pretty much said everything that we can say about a good friend, right? A friend who keeps your secrets, who tells you when you're wrong, who you can call on, who loves you, right? Those are all good friends. Those are all people who will help you in life, right? People who you can turn to, and it doesn't even have to be, it could be your own sister who can be your best friend. It can be your cousin, it could be somebody from school, it could be somebody you met at church, right? Those are people you have to keep close to you because you know they're good for you. And there'll be times in life where you might hit obstacles, right? And you have to work through them because you know that's a good friend and you have to be there for them. Everybody likes having a good friend. You also have to be a good friend to that person, right? Right. And being a good friend, they always have to be a Seventh-day Adventist? Right. But yes, they don't have to be a Seventh-day Adventist, but you cannot allow what to happen? Because we all go to a public school or some form of a public school, and we have different people from different cultures. They don't look like us. Some wear hijabs. Some have shaved heads, you have braids. Some have straight hair. Some have curly hair. Some have, maybe they don't believe in God, right? They worship idols, but they're good friends, right? They do all the things that we talked about, but they might be talking about certain things that are not necessarily go based on your Seventh-day Adventist belief, right? So you can have good friends, very good friends, but you just make sure that you keep what you've learned from the Bible, right? Yeah. And yeah. Anybody have any questions about that? No? Okay. Okay, so right now we have talked about being chosen, what it means to be chosen by God. We've talked about how we can be inclusive of others so that they feel chosen, and how we can be good examples, right? And now we talked about peer pressure and how to avoid peer pressure, how to be a good example, and how to avoid bad. I lost my train of thought. How could we avoid from being pressured into bad activities, right? Now the next part of this discussion is going to be career. I know it's pretty early to talk about career, but everything kind of ties on to being chosen, right? We all have aspirations of becoming something. Do we all know what we want to be right now? Nobody knows what they want to be? Yeah? What do you want to be?
A pharmacist.
Pharmacist? Michael, what do you want to be? You don't know what you want to be? What do you want to be?
A psychiatrist.
Oh, just like your mom? Okay. Well, anybody else know what they want to be? How do you know what you want to be?
You choose like based on like how what you're doing makes you feel, and like if you have a passion for it, then you can do it for the rest of your life.
Okay. Anybody have another take on it? How do you know what you want to be? Maybe the parents back there can tell us, how did they know where they wanted to be? How did you guys know what you guys wanted to be?
Because like certain things can just like hobbies, if you have a hobby of like swimming, you could be like a swimmer
Mm-hmm.
or like something like that. If you have a hobby like taking care of people, you could be like a doctor
Mm-hmm.
or something. And just like what Gosh just said, if it, like how it makes you feel,
Mm-hmm.
like if it makes you feel happy, you could do it.
It makes you happy, right? Okay.
Help people.
If you like to help people, so you do something that helps people. Okay. Parents, I don't hear anything from you guys. Oh, I saw your hand first. I'm coming.
Now, for me, how I looked at what I wanted to be, I looked at my talents that God has given me, what I'm able to do, what I enjoy doing, and then I also had to set goals for myself and see whether I'm able to achieve them and put efforts. So, to be specific, I wanted to be a pastor. I looked at myself. I knew that I was good at public speaking because since I was in Pathfinder, I was the one leading. When I went to college, I was being chosen to lead in Sabbath school stuff. And then now I had to look for a school to pursue my career. Of course, I went to school. I was set to achieve my goals and graduate with my bachelor's. Then I had to go further for my further studies to do my master's. But above all, I was praying that God would enable me achieve what I wanted to be. And I believe that it is through God that has opened doors. Until now, I'm a pastor at Mount Zion Fellowship in Alvarado, Texas.
Amen to that, right? Okay, I think yeah.
Thank you. You can always know what you want to be. To start with, if there's something that interests you. Like me, growing up, I knew I want to be either a nurse or a pharmacist. So what I did a nurse class. I worked a little bit. Then I did pharmacy technician, got certification. I worked in a pharmacy for a few months. And then I'm like, this is not my thing. I went back to the nursing field. So after that, I just stuck with nursing. It's something that you like doing. Somebody said something you like to help people. I think it's EJ. If that's your area, medical field, it's very wide. Even a pastor helps people or makes people feel good. So you kind of figure out what you like. Then from there, you stay focused, do your assignments. Don't follow bad influences. There's friends whom don't like doing assignments, and maybe their parents do not tell them or check on their assignments. Just don't follow them. Those are the bad friends you need to drop. And just follow your dream and stay focused, just like Pastor said.
Thank you for that. Anybody have another take on it? Oh, yes.
It's like as they have said, I think it's something you have to have a passion for. You have to like it. You have to enjoy doing it. Myself, I wanted to help. I'm caring. I would say I'm a caring person. I would listen. I like to listen to people's stories. I wanted to be either a nurse or a social worker, fight for people, help them find resources, find help. And so I'm actually got a Daisy Award for just for listening to people, going the way, I don't have to hurry. I know, one of my, you know how the yearly thing you would, like, what are you going to work on? It's the time, because I would spend a lot of time listening to the patients, listening to their stories. And they, they'll be like, oh, wow, somebody can listen to me. Somebody can take. So that is another thing. Just because sometimes it's that person, you are the only person who's listening to them. And that's a big thing for them at that moment. So it's something you have to like doing. Yeah, don't go to something that you don't enjoy. You're doing it because of money. For sure, you'll get tired of it. So go to something that you enjoy.
So what's a common theme?
Do something that you love.
Do something that you like, right? Before I go there, Clement, do you have do you know how did you know before we get there, hold on. One more. Go ahead.
So I'll share this because mine is a little different. I found myself in nursing school, not because I wanted to be a nurse, but it's because I grew up in an African home where I had to do what my father said I had to do. So my dad made sure I went to nursing school and I passed and became a nurse. Now, I worked and I think I was a good nurse, but while working as a nurse, I found myself just sitting down and reading the policies every single day. And at that time, I didn't even know what compliance is, what risk is, what quality is. But for whatever reason, I was reading all these policies every single day. And at a later time, it led me to my path where I am today. So whereas that was not my chosen path, it kind of led me to what I love and what I do with passion.
Okay, yes. Okay.
I want to be a doctor.
Oh my God. Good. Why do you want to be a doctor?
I want to be a doctor like a girl.
Like a girl? Oh. That's good. Oh my goodness. Back to what I was saying. Clement, how did you know you wanted to be something that you are right now? You can.
So for me, my story is also very different. What I really want to do is build houses. Now, I went to school for, civil engineering, construction, so that it will allow me to be able to do that. Now, before I got there, I stumbled into aviation. I also happen to be very good with my hands. I can fix things, work on things. So I got a certificate in that, and that's what I'm using to work right now. So the reason why I went that route was to be able to get something that I'll be able to make money and be able to live comfortably and then pursue what I really want to do down the line. And so although the idea or the goal is to go for what you want and the things that interest you and all those things, sometimes you may not get to that goal immediately on your first try. Well, not necessarily your first try, but maybe sometimes you have to step on something or you have to step somewhere before you can get to a certain level or where you really want to be at. Some people want to be musicians. You can go to school for music. You may be wasting your time because not everybody's gonna turn out to be one of these big people who are, singing and, making real money from this, So sometimes you may have to go a route where okay, I got this degree, I got a nursing degree, I can work with this, I can make money with this, and I'll be fine with this. And then while you're doing that, you can invest in the thing that you're really passionate about. Because not every passion will bring you money to be able to sustain their livelihood, right? Are we following? So sometimes you need to step a certain way before. Sometimes your parents encourage you, the way I see it in the African community, they encourage you to go nursing, or doctor, not because that's the best thing in the world, but sometimes you just need to do something that for a fact you will have a job, you will have an income, and then you'll be good. Now, mama don't have to worry about you no more. Dad they're doing that so they don't have to worry about you. You're gonna be good, you're gonna be on your feet, you're gonna be fine. And then after that, if you want to use that money that you're making from there to do your thing, that's your own business. But at least they know that they've taken care of their part. They've pushed you to a level where they know you can sustain your life. Are we following? Okay.
Okay. Oh, before I speak, Pastor wants to say something.
You know, I'm loving this because, for one, and he has said something very important that young ladies and men, I want you to listen. You may have a passion of doing something, but life, the way life is, you know, your passion may not be something that can enable you to get an income right then to sustain yourself. Are you guys listening? Because after you become 18 years old, we consider you to be who? An adult, whereby you should be able to buy your car, maintain your car, change your oil, and eventually we expect that you start planning on how to get your own what? Place to live, right? Now, daddy or mommy will not be supporting you throughout. Here, you know, for us African parents, I know you people didn't grow, but just to understand why sometimes we tell you to do something that you may not be really interested. As we grew up, whereby we didn't have all these bills to pay. You live in the village, daddy buys food, you eat, you can roam around, but here you have to pay electricity, otherwise you will not have power in your house, right? So that is why you find what he really said, that sometimes you have to move to a place that you're not comfortable, to do something just for the sake of keeping you afloat, to get some stability financially and enable you to do now what you love or what you want to do. Somebody like me, I told you my story, but after I came and Ashley was here, Andrew was coming, I had to look for more money. So I went back to do nursing. How many of you know that I'm a nurse too? You didn't know, right? I never imagined myself being a nurse. Even Andrew does not know. Yeah. But I had to go to an uncomfortable place in order to get some income, at least to keep me going, and then get things better. Are we together? So when your parents advise you that, no, I would prefer you do this, don't take it negative. Listen to them, because they may have a short-term plan for you to do something so that you become independent financially, and that will enable you now to do what you want to do. Okay?
Thank you. You know, I was also a victim of that African home mentality, right? Because I'm a nurse. And that's the only thing. I was either be a doctor, an engineer, or a nurse. Those are three options I was given, and I went with nursing. And so for a long time, I was like, I can't believe I went nursing. I could have done so many other things, and I don't like it. Now I'm here. This is your fault. I even told my dad, I was like, Dad, this is your fault. I'm in this field, right? But I think for me, I've come to realize I missed the point. And they've actually said the point very much. And right now, as I can tell you right now, I have so many options on what I can do in my life right now, right? Nursing is just so broad that I could be in a hospital, I can be sitting at a desk, I could be auditing people, I could be the president of the hospital, or a director of a certain field. I can be anything that I want to be right now. Right? And if I go to school and get more education, just a year or two, I can be even more than that. Right? And so sometimes we might think, like he said, our parents, and what Pastor Solo said, our parents always have a best interest in heart. But I also want to talk about the steps of choosing a career. Do we know there are steps to choosing a career? Do we know there are steps? their steps. And I'm about to talk about it right now. Step number 1. Who can guess what step number 1 is of choosing a career? Yeah. First, you gotta figure out what you want. Once you figure out what you want, what is the next step? Get education? I wanna say no. First step is prayer. Before you even get an education and know, you can think that's what you want, but the first step is always ask God for guidance, right? You always pray. He's like, God, is this really what you want from me? I love helping people. I think this is the path I want to go to. Is this what you really want me to do? And sometimes we don't talk about it enough, but fasting and prayer, right? Even though you're a little kids, it starts when you're young. It starts fasting and praying. And in that prayer, at the end of it, God will always show you what he wants for your life, right? Second step is what? Second step is